Living in Pittsburgh was actually a steal when it came to paying bills. The bills were at a minimum, I would say, in my opinion. I did promise my viewers that I would tell them how much I pay for rent, car payment, food, everything. I'll give you guys a detailed look at what I pay for bills living in the US, and not just living in the US, living in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. About 3 years ago, I made a video about my move from Brooklyn to the middle of nowhere, which would be Pittsburgh. And for some reason, people from Pittsburgh took offense to the title when I said living in the middle of nowhere. It was not my intention to diss Pittsburgh or anything like that. It's just really in the middle of nowhere to people who have never been to Pittsburgh. And people have heard of Pittsburgh or they know of it, but really and truly it's in the middle of nowhere. It's just a real unconventional place to go and live in the US for many people, especially for Caribbean folks. And I really did not mean to offend anyone. Secondly, the video that I made concerning my move from Brooklyn to Pittsburgh, that video that I made is on my hair YouTube channel. And at the time, that channel was not about hair. It was just about hair, cosmetics, beauty, makeup, whatever. But then I recently dedicated that channel solely towards just hair. So now that I'm here on the Vlogging Truth, I decided to make this channel like my vlogging slash lifestyle, beauty, everything combined in one. So I'll link that video down below so that you could see it. And if you end up on my other channel, that's the reasoning for why it's there and not here. People are always curious about why I moved all the way out to Pittsburgh. Why didn't I stay in New York, New Jersey, or well, didn't stay in New Jersey. I've never lived in New Jersey. Why didn't I go to New Jersey or Connecticut or Maryland or one of those places? It's because Pittsburgh is so cheap. And I'm going to give you a breakdown of the basic expenses that I had. Now, this was in the year 2000. And of course, you know, every year things go up gradually, but it wasn't significant increases. First thing we want to start with is rent. So if you go back to that video and you look in or at that video, you'll see where I highlighted or I featured the apartment when it was empty. So I showed you the size of the apartment. It was a relatively large apartment. It was a 2-bedroom apartment, 1 bathroom. I had a very large veranda, parking, etc. And I had my own heat. I had my own AC. All the bills I had to pay except water. Water was included for everyone in their rent. Rent was $785. That did not go up by much. By year 2024, I think that went up to like $890. It did not go past $900. Then we have our car payments. So I had a Subaru Impreza. It was a 2018 car, and it was sedan. For my monthly payment for that car was $358. I purchased that car on installments in Queens before I moved from New York. So I actually moved from New York to Pittsburgh with the Impreza. The lowest my car insurance was $129. It was higher at different times for different reasons. And of course, your car insurance in fact affects different stuff that you would go through for your driving history. It could have been lower, but because of some stuff that I had to go through in New York, it didn't go below $129 at the time when I had the Impreza. Obviously, I don't have the Impreza anymore because I'm talking past tense. The electric bill covered the AC, the heater, the gas stove, the electricity. In New York, you have to pay your gas bill and your electric bill separately. In Pennsylvania, well, in Pittsburgh, let me not speak for all of Pennsylvania, but in Allegheny County, and why I'm saying Allegheny County is because I did not live in Pittsburgh actually. I lived 35 minutes outside of Pittsburgh, which is relatively near. And I just say Pittsburgh because of how close to Pittsburgh I was in terms of a driving commute. So my electric was $450, and it was that high because I use my stove a lot to make roti, and in the winter, so this is the winter bill. So in the winter, I use a lot of heat. I hate being cold, so my heat was nothing below 70 degrees. I also would have a lower bill in the summer. My bill would come for less than $200 for electric. So in the summer, less than 200. In the winter, more than 400, because you know you need heating. And of course, I'm making a lot of rotis on the stove, so I'm consuming a lot of energy. Now food would go up and down depending on what I did. It was just my son and I at the time. Occasionally you would have visitors from out of town, which didn't happen very often, and I didn't have visitors over from the surrounding area. I just met everyone like out in public or at church, so I didn't have visitors any at all. So food was, let's say you can afford it. I shopped at Aldi, and I shop at Aldi because in the US I found out that shopping at supermarkets is very expensive. You could get the price of that thing at Walmart, Costco, Aldi, BJ's, Sam's Club, whichever other places you would go to get highly discounted groceries. You could skip the supermarket and save way more, especially at a place like Aldi. I would spend an average of $150 on food at Aldi, and that would last like maybe 2 weeks. And for Costco, I love going to Costco. Costco is very cheap. Let's say you dedicated your time in going to Costco monthly, you'd spend an average of $300 for my household size, right? Let us talk about gas. Now, I didn't go much places. When I was in Pittsburgh, I didn't go out a lot. So a lot of times it was just to go to the store or to drop my son to school. And that was in like the later part, because for the first part of us living there, he was doing online school, so we were home most of the time. And I would spend an average of $60 to $75 a week on gas. When we first moved there, it was a bit cheaper, and then because of COVID, and we were in the year of COVID, it skyrocketed, and we would pay a little bit more for gas and so forth. In total, I would say live comfortably without going out and so forth too often. Like $2,500 could really do it for yourself and a child, or yourself and someone else who doesn't work, because evidently my son didn't have a job. So imagine two people with combined incomes living in Pittsburgh. Easy and breezy. It is like a migration series. I actually started making these migration videos, and all of those videos are on the other channel that I mentioned. So I'm going to link all of those videos, and you should even make a playlist and put it on the channel here so that you guys can check those videos out. So this video is like a migration series video, which just gives you an idea of life in America, and you know, just different states. Evidently I wasn't in Brooklyn at the time, I'm in Pittsburgh. And in my next video, I'm going to talk about my work experience here, not only in Pittsburgh but in New York. If this is your first time here, I'm just asking you nicely just to subscribe. I have not hit 1,000 subscribers yet, so that means I'm not monetized as yet, and it would be nice for you guys to just support me, subscribe, help me to get monetized over here. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.